welcome back. Today I'm reviewing episode 8 of Traitors. So we start off with the brunch, as we always do, and they murdered Bergie, not her Burgerlicious. But I guess because he's Peter's right-hand man, they're pretty much just trying to take down Peter's pals right now. So, Trishelle is still on to Phaedra. Parvati is really the pal's first target, but Trishelle really wants to get Phaedra out. So they decide to switch their target to Phaedra because they feel like, since they know Parvati is a target, they can get her out any day. But with Phaedra, they feel like this is really their last opportunity to gun for her. So they put Parvati on the back burner and they try to actually recruit her on their side to turn on Phaedra. And while Peter was talking to Parvati about turning on Phaedra, MJ was kind of eavesdropping, so she heard some of the conversation. I'm not sure if she heard everything, but she heard some of it. Now, the next challenge was an escape room. For everybody that did not get through the escape room, they would penalize some of the gold that they won at the end. So 4 people ended up not getting through, and they won $15,000, but they took away $1,000 for each player that didn't make it, so they ended up only making $11K. And a shield was won, but nobody said who won it. So after the challenge, they have the round table after that. Now, before that, Peter and Parvati are pretty much trying to get everybody on the same page to vote against Phaedra. And Kate isn't really with it because she's kind of like, well, how do we go from Parvati to Phaedra so quick? Like, I don't get it. She's kind of on the leftover side. So, she's loyal to Phaedra. So they get to the round table, and first they call out Phaedra. Now, Trishelle calls out Phaedra, and she talks about the fact that, Dan tried to leave everybody with a hint before he left. She also called out how Phaedra is never really nervous when a murder is about to happen, or never really surprised when they do happen. Now, I will give them that because I remember, I think it was Tamara. When Tamara got murdered, she asked for something. It was some food that she had asked. I think she asked for boiled eggs or something like that. And it was kind of weird. It was like she kind of had no remorse for like her housewife's girl leaving. And I think Sandra kind of looked away, like she found it weird too.
Are there any boiled eggs? Boiled eggs?
I don't know if it's just because I have watched Phaedra on Real Housewives and I know how she acts when she's guilty. But if I were in that house with them, I would have knew that Phaedra is a traitor. And like I said, I believe that Sheree knows. At this point, I believe the leftovers probably know. I believe they know, and they just, they like Phaedra and they want to protect her the same way the pals are now protecting Parvati, even though they know she's a traitor. Kevin then also brings up these twitches that she makes with her eyes. Not twitches. I mean, she do kind of give it away in her face, in my opinion. But then John ends up calling out Parvati.
Parvati could well be a Duchess of Deception and a Mistress of Murder.
He calls her out because he feels like at the last, it wasn't a round table when they did the torches, and she was one of the people whose torches didn't get lit. She wasn't really trying to plead her case because she knew she wasn't getting murdered anyway, so she wasn't really worried about it. So at this point, the round table is kind of split between Parvati and Phaedra. So a traitor is going home regardless. So then Kate kind of calls everybody out for switching up on Parvati out of nowhere. And then Phaedra kind of reveals how Peter and Parvati have been having side conversations about working together. And that kind of shocked everybody. I told these people to stop underestimating Phaedra because I didn't even think about that. That was very clever to bring up at the last minute. Phaedra has more numbers with the leftovers, so they ended up voting Parvati out. And everyone knew she was a traitor, so it wasn't really surprising or anything. Now, Phaedra is the last traitor standing, honey, and she has the numbers. So, I mean, right now, it's still looking pretty good for Phaedra. But now that Parvati is gone, they have to have a new target for the next round table, which I don't know if they're still suspecting Peter or not. But Now, after the round table, Kevin had a weird feeling about Peter because he also didn't understand how they switched from Parvati to Phaedra so quickly, especially now being that it's revealed that Parvati was a traitor. And I guess once Phaedra revealed him and Parvati working together, maybe he found that a little weird too. So I don't know. Next episode, Well, I don't know. Is it finally Peter's time to go? Now we end with this secret meeting. Now, since Phaedra is the only traitor remaining, of course they're gonna give her the option to recruit somebody else, and she wants to take this option. Now, however, there is a twist. So this time, once they approach the faithful to become a traitor, they either join them or they die. Now that was what they needed for Peter, because then he would have for sure joined them. But yeah, so Phaedra ends up choosing Kate.
Fergus, I don't really understand what I did wrong.
And next week we will see how that plays out. Now we also have to keep in mind, we do not know who won this shield. So let's say Kate won the shield and she doesn't want to be a traitor. Then she's in the house and she knows who the traitor is. So I don't know. You know, she appears to be loyal to Phaedra, but I feel like that's off of the strength of her truly believing that she's not a traitor. So yeah, I'm just interested to see who won the shield. If it's Kate, Phaedra may be in trouble. The game is getting more and more interesting. Again, as far as next week, I'm not sure who the targets are going to be. I'm sure Trishelle and Peter are still going to be gunning for Phaedra. Kevin is becoming suspicious of Peter now, so maybe he's going to move over to the leftover side, which is already the majority. Yeah, this should be interesting. I'm thinking next week is probably still going to be Phaedra and maybe Peter. And I need to see how this Kate thing goes. Hopefully she don't have the shield. But yeah, that was my review of this week's episode. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about everything in the comments down below. Stay happy, healthy, and all of that good stuff. And I will see y'all in my next video.